Hello everybody, this is Shady here again, and for today's video I'm going to be talking to you guys about one of my favorite Japanese RPG series of all time, and that is the Valkyrie series of games. This is a short-lived series of only 4 games released by Square Enix, and yeah, it's really cool. So essentially, what I love about this series in particular is that it leans heavily on Norse mythology, and that's like one of my favorite mythoses ever. I think Egyptian maybe ranks a little bit higher, but Norse is pretty close. But yeah, so we're going to just talk about all the games. I'm going to show you them, give a little bit of an overview, and really, I just want to hope that whoever sees this video will go out and play these games pretty much. So the first game is Valkyrie Profile Lenneth. So this obviously isn't the original release. Originally, the game was released on the PlayStation 1. And obviously, what's really cool about this game is we basically play as the Valkyrie Lenneth, and her job is essentially to go to different towns around the world map and to collect powerful warriors to train and send to Odin to become Inheria, as they're called, to help fight in Ragnarok. And what sets this game apart is that there's actually this constant timer going down, and you're basically trying to get as many soldiers as possible strong enough to help fight, to basically help Odin win Ragnarok. And yeah, it's just really cool. Obviously, the timer aspect is just basically whenever you enter a town, it will take so many days or whatever off, pretty much. So yeah, as long as you don't fumble about around, it shouldn't be an issue. Yeah, I'll show you the back of the case there. You get to see some cool things. Obviously, this is like an enhanced port, basically, for the PSP. Obviously, what was cool about this game is it actually had voice acting and everything for a PS1 game. Obviously, it is a 2D style action game, action RPG. The battle system itself, you control Lenneth and 3 other party members usually, who are essentially rotating because obviously they're the different Inherii. And each one of their attacks is assigned to one of the 4 face buttons. Yeah, circle, square, X, triangle, as usual with PlayStation. And then, yeah, they'll do different attacks, yeah, special attacks, blah, blah, blah. It's obviously also 2D, so when you're in towns and everything, it's like, you know, in dungeons, it's a side-scrolling thing. There's sort of light platforming elements to it as well. Yeah, it's just a really awesome game. There's one thing I really love as well. This is one of my favorite things about the game, is when you, you actually don't achieve your goal, you fail, Freya will come down from Ragnarok or from the heavens or whatever, Valhalla I suppose, and actually kill you. And yeah, you can't do anything. She just destroys you, and it's really funny. It's a funny joke ending anyway. And also, what's really interesting is a lot of the ideas in this game were kind of brought forward to Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy 13, the 3rd game in that trilogy. And I've always had this weird theory in my head that that's technically was originally going to be a Valkyrie Profile game, but they just decided to turn it into a Final Fantasy game. Like, the similarities, there's too many similarities for that to just be a coincidence, in my opinion. But anyway, sorry about that. Yeah, it's an incredible game, by the way. Obviously, you can pick up a PS1 version, and then or just this PSP version. But now, this version in particular has been ported to PS4, PS5, and Steam, so you don't necessarily need to buy this version. Yeah, I think it probably is a little bit more expensive now. I bought this day one with my PSP. Yeah, I basically bought my PSP with because I wanted to play God of War Chains of Olympus, and then they happened to have this game there, and I was big into JRPG, so I was like, okay, I'm just going to snap this up. So it was the one of the 2 games I picked up day one on my PSP when I did finally pick it up. So yeah, and I loved it ever since. It's a great game. Yeah, like I said, don't let the whole time thing get you down. It's not a problem. And yeah, it's a great game. Anyway, we've talked enough about the first game, haven't we? Yeah, then there was actually a sequel released for the PlayStation 2, Valkyrie Profile 2 Samaria. And obviously this game is technically a prequel because it's set before everything else. And we're basically playing as a Valkyrie who's kind of called Samaria, who has fled from Odin, escaped, taken control of this girl's body, and they're basically trying to fight off other Valkyries, and it kind of goes from there. This was a very late release on the PS2. It's actually 2007. Yeah, so this came out when like by the time the PS3 was out. So unfortunately, because people just never played it, and it's kind of one of them like hidden gem games on the PS2. Yeah, obviously, as you can see, I bought it when it first came out for 30 quid. Well, actually, what led me to buy this, because this, I think I saw my friend with this game, because I didn't even realise there was a sequel coming out. And then, yeah, I think I saw him play it, and then I just decided to pick it up pretty much the next day. So, but yeah, it's a great game. And yeah, what I love about this one is it's like a 3D type of game as well. But you still have that 2D side-scrolling exploration like you do in the original. And it's a very beautiful game. What's really funny, on the back here, where is it? It says witness next gen. I don't know, is it even focused? Witness next generation graphics, basically lighting and visual effects. Yeah, and yeah, the lighting is actually really amazing for a PS2 game. To be fair, like even though it's kind of like a 2D game, it's still 3D, and it is actually beautiful. And yeah, what I really like is they've kind of evolved the battle system as well. When it comes to dungeon exploration and everything, it works pretty much the same as it did in the original. It's like 2D side-scrolling platforming. But then the battle system, they kind of improved a bit more, because in the original it's just almost like turn-based, like you take your turn with all your moves and then the enemy does. In this one, there's actually movement involved. So you actually have to move your party members around, and you can kind of have them take different formations and stuff. But then when you do actually attack, it goes into the old school style, side to side, face button for each character's attacks. Each attack takes up so much AP, and you have a grid for all that AP. Yeah, it's a really awesome game. It is incredibly difficult though. Like you are going to have to do some like serious power leveling just to do anything in this game, before you can like achieve anything. I remember when I first played this game, I actually got stuck. I remember I couldn't even beat the first boss. So I just gave up on it, and then I came back to it like a couple of years or so later, and then yeah, I jumped on it. I think it was once I got like my PS3 or something, I can't remember, but yeah, then I finally did jump on this game, and you know, I did some more exploration and some leveling. I found this weapon that gave me this like ultimate attack, and I was able to beat that boss, and then I carried on. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, that was on my PS3, and I lost that PS3, so that save is gone. So yeah, it is a great game. Regardless of that, and yeah, definitely pick it up. You're gonna love it. Next up, this is the oddity. The next two are a bit strange. So obviously those two, the first and second feel like an evolution. This one is a bit strange. It's almost like a sideways step. Not that it's a bad game, but yeah, this is Valkyrie Profile, Covenant of the Plume, and yeah, this is actually on the Nintendo DS, as you can see. Because obviously, I'm sure people know this. The Nintendo DS kind of took over the PS2 crown of being like the de facto JRPG system, just like what the Switch is now, I suppose. But yeah, so it just made sense, like, because obviously a lot of Japanese developers didn't want to put in more money making a HD PS3 or 360 JRPG for the most part, and yeah, they rather just do it for the DS. DS was massive. It was the main platform people used in Japan, and it was, you know, it sold well worldwide. That's a bit of a tongue twister. So yeah, so obviously games like this, Dragon Quest, I think Shin Megami Tensei, you know, basically all of Atlus's titles, a lot of Square Enix titles, yeah, just made the move to DS. This being one of them, obviously because it's a bit more of a niche experimental title as well, it made sense to go on there. But yeah, anyway, this game's a little bit different. So essentially, we're actually playing not as a Valkyrie this time, but as a warrior, one of the Enherio. He is essentially, yeah, he wants to get revenge against Lenneth, the Valkyrie Lenneth. So yeah, it's tied into the first game, and yeah, he basically has to join. I believe it's has to join forces with what is her name again? The Queen of Niflheim. I think her name is Hera or something. I can't remember her name. Helena, I think it is, or something. But yeah, he basically has to join forces to help hopefully defeat this Valkyrie. And what's really cool about this game is it's actually a tactical RPG this time around. So yeah, obviously you don't have quite as many party members as you would as like a Disgaea or whatnot. But yeah, you have these tactical battles. Obviously, you know, it's a grid-based system. You take turns. Each character will have a different sort of class, abilities, blah, blah, blah. And just like the other games, it's a little bit more on the difficult side. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. There are some issues, well, not issues, but there are some battles where it's like you have to do multiple battles in a row, and it becomes quite tough. Yeah, those, and you can't save between battles, so like you have to do these chains of battles in a row again if you lose one of them. But yeah, as long as you prepare enough and all that, you'll be fine. But yeah, it's a very solid game. This is actually like I know I don't like to talk about price, I won't say specifics, but this is going to be the priciest of the lot, namely because obviously it is on the DS, and yeah, DS RPGs kind of go up there, don't they? Mainly because, yeah, there's no way to really port them and blah, blah, blah. Obviously, like it's Samaria as well, Part 2 is still stuck on the PS2 as well. Yeah, so, you know, those are the other ways you can be able to play the systems, but I'm sure any JRPG fan would have both of those systems anyway. If you don't, you're crazy, in my opinion. And yeah, there is one last game. This is a really odd one, because basically, randomly, a couple of years back, Square Enix just decided, we're going to announce a new Valkyrie game, but we're not going to call it Valkyrie Profile. They instead decided to call it Valkyrie Elysium. Yeah, this is an odd one. So, I think, I don't know, maybe because of the game, because it's been so many years, they decided to go with the Elysium name instead of actually calling it Profile. Yeah, bit of an odd choice. And also, it is very different. It's not your traditional RPG, it is more of an action RPG. Yeah, you do level up and blah, 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 and you do get the inherited eyes who do fight alongside you. But obviously, it's more of a action RPG. I know that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. I never had an issue with it personally. I think it's a cool game. Obviously, the battle system isn't perfect. Yeah, I really feel like, you know, one of the issues I have, it's not a massive thing, but there's no like move cancelling sort of thing or anything like that. And yeah, or animation cancelling in all. And yeah, the dodging, yeah, feels maybe a tad too automated in a way. Not an issue, but it might be for you. It's just, as someone who has played a lot of action games, things like Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, you know, when I play a lot of action RPGs, it does, these things kind of pick up on me, but it's got a cool story. What's really interesting is to get like the true ending, you kind of have to do, you know, there's a lot of cool things you need to do, or there's a lot of, it's not as straightforward as you think. There are multiple endings just like in the other ones, and you know, it's a really cool game. Obviously, I do love the art style. Our new Valkyrie there is really cool as well. This one's really awesome because you get this cool secondary cover as well, which is awesome. Yeah, that's kind of more in the style of the traditional Valkyrie games. This one though, ended up getting quite cheap. I like waited a little bit. I didn't get it like straight away, and I decided yeah, to wait like a year, and I got it for like less than half price or something. So but yeah, this one is available on PS4, 5 and PC. I don't know if I'm correct. I think if you get the deluxe digital deluxe edition, you do get Lenneth included. So I should actually probably explain a little bit about the game itself. So obviously, we're playing as a new Valkyrie who's kind of helping out Odin, and this is essentially like, I believe it's set way after the other games or something, and yeah, there's a possibility you may be being deceived or blah blah blah. I won't spoil too much in that regard. Gameplay wise, we have like Valhalla, that kind of area, like Odin's castle, that's kind of like our hub area, and then we go into levels, and obviously you explore these levels. They're not like super open, they're kind of more linear. They play kind of like your typical character action-y type of stages almost. You get from point A to point B, there's little offshoots, blah blah, you find hidden treasure, and then you fight a boss at the end pretty much. You have some like different sorts of enemy encounters, you know, mixed in. You'll have more powerful enemies with smaller mobs, that sort of thing. And then obviously you have little side quests and blah blah blah. You can do either going back to certain levels or blah blah blah. I'm saying blah 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 a lot, I know. But yeah, it's a really I still think it's a good game. You can get it cheap enough now. It's definitely worth the playthrough anyway. Maybe not the sequel we all wanted, but it's fine. At least it's a new Valkyrie game. Yeah, I really hope we do get ports of those other two, and I just hope that we do get another straight up Valkyrie game at some point. My apologies. Yeah, I just hope we get another Valkyrie game at some point, and series can continue on, you know. Like I said, it's one that I think you should definitely try out. I think you'll enjoy the hell out of this. Yeah, obviously, like I said, I would say pick up Lenneth on like PlayStation or PC, give it a go, see what you think, and if it's your sort of thing, try tracking down the other ones. So obviously, you know, it is a bit difficult with how some of the prices of these games are nowadays to want to make that investment. Because like, I think I got a decent price on Covenant and the Plume, but it is a little bit more on the expensive side. So yeah, start off with Lenneth, see what you think. And hopefully you do enjoy the series as much as me. If you do, please spread the word, because I think it's a great series. And hopefully if we can get the word out there, who knows, maybe Grange will try again and do another Valkyrie game. Or maybe remaster 2 at least anyway. But anyway guys, I've kept you long enough. Have a great rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next one.